How'd it go this morning?
Good, good. It wasn't that, it wasn't that hot out there, I don't think, today, so I got some good work in where heat wasn't much of a factor. Worked hard, pleased to see that, some of the guys you're starting to see develop it a little bit better, which is where you want to see it. John Banks and Nico Whitley, that young guys that we're depending on, but they're still young guys, starting to see some strides out of those two guys. They were pleasing. The rest of it still did, cleaned up some red zone work this morning. Still need to clean that up offensively, but it was better today than it was yesterday.
What have you seen from Robert Elliott so far in camp?
Great. Robert's a hard worker, and that's what we want out of the running back position. You look at Robert, Vic, even Perkins, those guys. You don't hear much. They just come in, they do their job as hard as they can, and they run off the field, which is kind of what we're looking for and what we want. And we haven't had a live scrimmage, so it's kind of hard sometimes. We control it all, and everybody staying on their feet to see, how many of these tackles would he break, how many long special runs would he do. I'm not into that right now as much as I'm into making sure that everybody's doing their job, and he's doing a real good job at that.
It's about Hanrahan. You said that you're drawing up a few more plays for him this year in the fullbacks.
Yeah, he wishes. He's drawing up a lot of plays for the fullbacks this year. I know that one. For those guys, just making sure we're utilizing them within the offense. We got good players there. We're looking at Hanrahan. We got Sylvester Hemphill, is doing a really good job, and Shumpert. Shumpert's a pounder in there, and he's still figuring it out. He's still a young guy and figuring it out. But people would call it getting shumped. People get out of the way when he's running through a hole sometimes. They don't want it to be the live drill. They're happy. There's a lot of tagging off going when Shumpert's running through the hole.
At what point in this whole, month will you get to where you kind of formalize more of a depth chart and kind of, distribute reps that way?
Really, I'm trying to think of it. I know the first day of school is like Wednesday the 18th.
Okay.
Then we'll go 3 more practices after that, a big scrimmage. And really that following week, we'll get much more into game mode where we need getting people ready for, I don't know, the depth chart will be finalized by then, but we'll be really kind of organized of who's getting ready to play in the game.
With your 2 kickers, what kind of situations do you put them in practice to kind of see who will separate, themselves from the other?
Well, we just chart everything and keep it statistically as very, very close as it's been. They've both been in pressure situations. They've both played in games, and they've both responded in those situations. So, we create some tough situations, but a lot of it right now, as it gets closer to game time, we'll try to create some more high-pressure situations for them. Right now, it's just developing, and they're both developing pretty well. I don't know if we played tomorrow, I'd just, one of you run out on the field. Right now, I wouldn't make that much of a difference. I think they're that even right now.
Is there a specific area, maybe kickoffs, field goals, consistency in one of those areas? What do you want to see?
There was, but Sean's got more consistent, more pop on his field goals and shorter kicks, and Derek's done a great job. He did some kickoff work today, and he was booming the kickoffs today. Down into the end zone. So when you that way, it's pretty dead even, which is where you want it to be. In case there is an issue that, when your number 2 is just as good as your number 1, and you think your number 1's pretty good, we're in good shape.
Say Whitley and Banks made some strides. What specifically do you mean by that?
You just see them growing as players. The speed in which they're playing the game. On special teams, you see them fundamentally. They're always in the right position. And doing it as football players now, where a lot of times before you'd see them do it as an athlete. Now they're doing it in the terms of being a football player as well. But they are. Deontay Skinner's another guy the same way. You're starting to see him become a football player, not just a guy with a lot of potential. We're starting to see him make some plays.